I am Guilherme Teles, and today we are going to talk about the blackout and the great gap of tech professionals and how to stand out quickly. Those who are not prepared for the digital revolution with trained professionals to help them keep IT at the center of everything, both to increase efficiency and reduce costs and to boost new projects in times of expansion will certainly be left behind. Increasingly, information technology is being placed at the heart of the company business. With the advancement of digital transformation driven by the COVID-19 pandemic, the need to highlight IT in its position has become a matter of survival, and since then it is no longer seen only as a support area, becoming a considered the support axis of the entire operation. Let's understand why. First of all, it is necessary to point out that the IT sector by itself should be considered one of the most strategic due to the very nature of its activity. After all, it is able to keep the entire corporation connected and in full operation, making the business more productive and competitive. Just remember how technology was instrumental in leveraging the global economy over the past 2 years, enabling the home office delivering applications among other activities, ensuring the evolution of the industry as a whole. However, its increasing use also brought challenges. The emergence of a new customer profile, much more demanding, attuned to novelties and seeking a great relationship experience in the virtual world, increasingly adhering to the e-commerce. According to some researches conducted by Robert Half and Gartner, the jump in online sales in 2020 was 68% compared to 2019. This made companies start a race against time to adapt to these new habits, investing in cutting-edge solutions to become more digital and more innovative in order to build loyalty, attract and retain new customers, and stand out from the competition. Given this scenario, we can say that investments in technology and professionals who make the wheel of innovation turn will be fundamental to dictate the success of companies in the coming years. Even in a crisis reality, with companies closing at all times, the IT sector has demonstrated its strength, representing the way out for those seeking to restructure their business models and overcome the moment we are living. This boom in the use of IT still brought a good thing, the generation of jobs around the world. In the whole world is no different. In 2021, lots of countries recorded a growth of not less than 50% in vacancies compared to the same period of the previous year. On the other hand, we faced the talent gap to fill these vacancies. According also with Gartner and Robert Half, there is a deficit of no less than 300 specialists annually. Finding qualified people to fill these vacancies has been one of the biggest challenges for organizations today and will continue to be in the coming years, as the digital revolution is here to stay. Those who are not prepared for it, with trained professionals who help them keep IT at the center of everything, both to increase efficiency and reduce costs and to boost new projects in times of expansion, will certainly be left behind. The public cloud market around the world amounted to be around $30 billion in 2021, with a compound annual growth rate of 31% of the period from 2020 to 2024. From January 2020 to December 2021, 80% of companies that migrated to the cloud are small, that is, with up to 50 employees. The same study conducted by Sky1 shows that in 2020, the commerce sector, wholesale and retail led the ranking of companies that migrated to most the cloud, with 40%. Following accounting, 15%, software house, 12%. In the following year, the trade segment, wholesale and retail, remained predominant with 33%, and the sequence had accounting, 14%, technology 10%, and transport and logistics with 7%. The survey also pointed out in 2020 companies bet on their migration of their systems to the cloud in search of environment engagement, infrastructure linked to software, more security, storage capacity, and infrastructure reinvestment. In the following year, in 2021, the benefit sought by companies was related to environment engagement, environment management, infrastructure linked to software, storage capacity, more security, and reinvest in infrastructure. So the data shows that the cloud market is doing a lot of gaining, so that we have an even better idea of the moment that the segment is going through and its future, of course. So we need to talk about data and forecasts right now. It is said by the C-level of the Sky One that they estimate that investments in public cloud will be exceeded in $7 billion. According to Gartner, the cloud should represent 14.2% of the total corporate IT spending market by 2024, which means next year, compared to only 9% in 2020. Also, according to Gartner, almost 70% of organizations that already use cloud services and they should invest more in the use of this technology, even as a result of the pandemic. According to several executives from AWS, a sector that grows continuously and in the last 2 years due to the acceleration of digitalization, this growth has been even greater. Even so, it is a market full of opportunities for creating new business and cloud-based solutions, especially in multi-cloud environments. It is said that we will be the comprehensive hybrid cloud strategy to provide the storage platforms, management tools, analytics, and security to help customers reduce complexity and transform their hybrid or non-hybrid cloud into an agile commercial solution. It is said, of course, by some executives from AWS that for they, the computational power of the cloud is what will bring even more innovation for business to operate during and after the pandemic. With the changes that this scenario has brought, the cloud combined with data analytics provides business with valuable insights both to manage their companies and to understand the profile of the companies. The potential for transformation through the cloud is very great, and we are just starting to explore it. According to the AWS executive, market studies show that only 5% of the total IT investment in companies worldwide is directed to the cloud, which means the other 95% goes to on-premises technology yet. That is, there is a lot of room for the digital transformation of companies. IDC considers that the so-called 30 platforms involves technologies such as the cloud, mobility, big data, analytics, and social. This consultancy estimates that by 2023, in all the world, the third platform will represent 25% of the market when compared to traditional technology. So let's talk about the trends. It exposed a trend based on the numbers obtained by GCP, Azure, and AWS that, for example, GCP ended 2021 with a global revenue of almost $20 billion. In the fourth quarter of 2021, GCP reported global revenue of $5.5 billion, up to 45% year over year. It says that in 2021 compared to 2020, there was a growth of more than 80% in the total volume of deals for the Google Cloud Platform and a growth of more than 65% in the numbers of deals above $1 billion. Regarding the partner ecosystem, in 2021 compared to the previous year, the number of customers who spend more than $1 million through the marketplace increased by 6 times. Customers spent through channels partners on several cloud providers more than double, and this number of active certifications also increased among top global systems integrator. For example, these numbers represent a trend that is what is happening around the world, including not excluding any country. For example, there are several financial services going to the cloud. The financial services is one that was most afraid of using this technology, but they need to take advantage of cloud elasticity and the full potential of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data analytics. So let's talk about the general growth. Suppliers have been seeing significant growth over the past 2 years. SkyOne had a growth of 67% so far compared to the year before, which has already been accelerated by the pandemic. With Microsoft and Azure, it is no different. There has been an increase between 35 to 46% of increase in demand, and other cloud services in the last quarter, which has ended in last December. They believe that this is because the rise of hybrid working and the drive for innovation across all industries. The company cloud services have been growing with strong demand for consumption-based services. For AWS, the global revenue in the fourth quarter of 2021 was $17.7 billion, an amount of 39.5% higher than the recorded in the fourth quarter of 2020. It is said that this is only the beginning. So, the expansion and the future. They estimate that cloud consumption should grow 35% between 2019 and 2024. With the positive results, companies start to planning their expansion and their future. For example, they are increasing in different sectors, such as utilities, agribusiness, manufacture, and logistics. Several companies are bringing specialists from each of these industries so that companies can operate and trust more in the cloud and the digital transformation and how to innovate their business models. At AWS, the growth plans, it is included an investment, for example, in Latin America of 1 billion reais invested from February 2020 until the end of 2022. So the expansion will kind of launch new local zones and new regions. They also announced several new edge locations in other areas. All of these makers, it is clear that they believe in companies and in startups and in governments around the world in order to acquire competitive advantage such as flexibility, scalability, great cost effectiveness, and of course, security. So imagine, they are kind of growing every year, not less than 20 to 30% in revenue and in expansion of professionals, and they are not considering the gap of professionals. So this is the great opportunity for every IT professionals around the world, because if you stay ahead, if you start studying right now and get the company that you have a certification, it will certainly put you ahead of several other competitors. So they are expecting a growth of 100% in revenue for this year compared to the last year. So this is pretty big, especially when we talk about the 5G technology that is going to some continents like Latin America, Asia, and other areas. So let's talk about the ascension. But with all this expectation, what types of companies will join the cloud? A survey conducted by the Harris Poll, sponsored by Microsoft, found that 86% of the respondents plan to increase their investment in cloud computing, and 95% say that these technologies are critical to their success. Results from the survey of business leaders, IT professionals, and IT decision makers and mid-sized to large US companies demonstrate the opportunity in 2022 for cloud technology to solve complex business needs. It is said that one of the areas where the cloud is starting to show result is in the finance sector. To meet demand and support migration of the customer to data cloud, they must invest, of course, in cloud security. The result was that the process of migrating systems, financial systems to cloud, it is successful and was completed successful for several financial institutions. And they are able to protect customer and bank information. So they are working around the world with literally every industry, and they are migrating to the cloud massively. This goes from small companies, from startups, as well as for medium and large companies. But an example of the size of a paradigm shift is the volume of companies in the financial sector that they are taking to the cloud, that is said by AWS. So AWS sees greater breadth. The cloud is the great enabler of digital transformation, and it is for everyone who needs to put technology at the heart of their business to grow. We see companies of all sizes and verticals adopting cloud technologies, from startups to large corporations and government agencies. The use of public cloud has been an important driver of a new business model for several segments. The sector of retail, services, logistics, people management, accounting, agribusiness have had accelerated adoption in the last couple of years. This year that we are starting, they will kind of try to observe that companies will take movements to move more data, more applications, and of course more demands, and try to understand how fraud control and how security will operate in the cloud. So the better understanding of customer behavior will always move through improving the management of large volumes of data. So AWS says that they are working with a mapping of focus industries, which involves companies from industries such as healthcare, retail, consumer goods, financial services, telecommunications, media and entertainment, games, manufacturing, logistics, and government. So you see, they are kind of addressing all business areas, all different sectors. So many of these are already the focus of their operations. And this year they are adding utilities, manufacturing, and logistics to several other areas. So it is no different around the world. So they are trying to invest in a gigantic infrastructure, like always, in a longer-term commitment around the world. So you can see that AWS is launching from time to time new regions, new edge locations, and they are investing a lot. The cloud is essential for digital transformations of organizations today, that they need to have access to services such as computing, storage, databases, networks, analytics, machine learning, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, virtual reality, and so many others. So innovation is one of the pillars of AWS activities around the world, even impacting customers around there. So we needed to understand that every market is important for the cloud providers, that there is no difference. So a recent case of a company that is benefiting from cloud is financial institution and telecommunications. The operator account are advancing in very much of the 5G technology, artificial intelligence, IoT, and so many others. So the problem right now is not how the companies are investing. The big problem right now is this deficit of professionals. So despite of all the interest, there is a shortage of professionals, says AWS. The IT sector has an estimated deficit of more than 2 million professionals around the world by 2025. Around a quarter of that new jobs should be created, according to AWS. On the other hand, the forecast is approximately that we'll have more than 2 million vacancies that will not be filled due to a lack of qualified professionals. According to AWS executives, since 2017 and 18 and 19, they have trained more than 1 million students and professionals around the world. But their target and their commitment is to train more than 20 million by 2026 to help them build their cloud skills through free courses and training. So their object is to help close the specialized labor gap. So the shortage of professionals occurs in different functions within organizations that now rely on companies like ours to ensure that continuity. So they need AWS, they need the partners, but AWS and the partners and the consulting companies will need cloud security professionals because it is growing. So they needed to take a closer look at security. It is inevitable. Even though they are part of the culture and a strategic planning, people are still the most vulnerable asset when they are exposed to wages in euros or dollars. So imagine, doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you got a certification on cloud security, you will be disputed by several companies around the world. So you need to understand that. So the training of skilled labor in IT needs to be everyone commitment. Companies, institutions, government, and not only for professionals, but for students also. To support the digital transformation and innovation around the world, we need to prioritize our studies in cloud technologies. The pandemic has certainly accelerated digital transformation in many countries. And we have seen more innovation in the first 12 months of March 2020 than we have seen in the last 5 years. However, it is important to facilitate the way in which governments can acquire cloud computing infrastructure and services, as well as the training professionals. So, how to stand out in this market with cloud certifications? So, first, let's talk about what are IT certifications, okay? IT certifications are formal declarations issued by a company that has credibility, serving to prove the skills of a certain professional in some area of technological knowledge. For example, software, process, information security, among other areas of knowledge. And because it is a statement of knowledge and skills, IT certifications are an important way to grow professionally while generating recognition in the job market. The technology market is dynamic, requiring constant updating by those who work in the field. This is where the difference between the professionals who have certifications and the ones who does not comes in. And it's no wonder given that for some companies, certificates carry more weight than a college degree. This happens due to the fact that they make the professional more prepared to perform particular functions in some activities on the sector. But in general, these certifications functions as a declaration that have one purpose and one purpose only, attesting to professional competence in a given subject. So, what is the importance of certifications for the IT professional? Understood what IT certificates are, we must bear in mind that they are crucial for those who stand out in the job market and get better positions. In addition, this is a possibility for anyone who wants to be hired by a company of greater importance in the field. Therefore, it is worth saying that the importance of IT certification is due to the fact that it is by itself provides a differential in the curriculum of those who have it. And considering that the IT job market is very broad and consequently demanding, thus it becomes necessary to have a qualified employee to supply the utilities sought by the company. It is worth mentioning also, however, that the name of the company that signs the certification also generates a differentiation factor among people in the field. After all, a professional who has this document automatically has a high practical knowledge of technology. Investing in cloud computing today ensures that you have expertise in a given area, and it is these professional attitudes that make all the difference for you to find better opportunities in the market. With them, you become an expert at something. So, it is true that some areas of activities have a great demand for professionals, which can make it difficult for them to enter the job market. Therefore, you need to increase your chances, and certifications are your allies in this regard. The addition to your resume also makes all the difference when competing for a job on job sites, platforms like Monster, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and so many others. After all, you will receive a great number of options available since you have a differential in your resume that makes you attractive to companies. And also, Another great benefit of investing in a professional certification is increasing your chances of getting a promotion at your actual work. This is because you will come out ahead in relation to professional indications, since you have a more complete training than the other candidates for the same vacancy. This happens because the job market is increasingly demanding. Employers give preference to those who have skills and mastered knowledge that can offer something extra to the organization. Even if you are not employed at all, it is worth guaranteeing this differential to facilitate your entry in the market and then climb the steps, occupying more challenging positions. Therefore, it is interesting that you choose the certifications that are in accordance with the area in which you want to work. So, how to make your resume more attractive? Have you ever stopped to think about what makes your resume different from other students who are studying on the same degree in the same area as you? Higher education courses offer the same knowledge to all students and new classes from every semester to the only way to stand out is to invest in something else. But that doesn't mean you should take any course after all, as I talked before. The ideal thing is that you try to take a professional certification that is related to the area in which you want to follow. And of course, to take a look at the market to see what area are most demanding. And right now, it is cloud security because of the investment of the cloud providers. In this way, you'll be increasingly specializing in a particular segment and improving your skill. So, generating a competitive differential in a selection process. There is no denying that the job market is increasingly competitive. There are many candidates aiming for the same vacancy and the same area. Therefore, the chances of being selected are directly related to the differential in the training of each one. It is very important to have a degree, but stopping at that level no longer makes the eyes of the recruiters shine. Therefore, the ideal, as we reinforce through this video, is to ensure that your resume brings differentials. It is more attractive and you stand out in the selection process. Professional certificates are that something else that shows that you are better prepared to fill the vacancies available, whether for a paid internship as an apprentice, trainee, or a job, or even a promotion. When seeing that you have a specialization, when seeing that you are committed, that you started your study even without any preparation, that you start from zero and you start your commitment, studying every day, practicing every day, looking for questions and paying and scheduling your certification, even if you don't pass for the first time, this will give companies the preference to your resume. So you need to understand that. So do you realize how professional certifications can help you build a successful career? So the numbers that I am saying right now, you can see at Robert Half sites, on Gartner's site, and so many other research. So take a Google and just type cloud security market, cloud security employees, cloud security offerings. So you will see by your eyes that when you take a look and you gain your certification, you stand out in the crowd. So cloud security and the cybersecurity area are increasingly demanding around the world. Doesn't matter where you are. I say that the proposal here is that you gain $10,000 a month. So you can start earning 4, 5, and then you got more certification, you can gain more experience, and then you achieve the $10,000 a month in dollars around the world. It is achievable. So therefore, choosing a college degree also offer a support and a big changes in your career if you're studying, offering different courses to complement your graduation, achieving a competitive advantage so you don't have difficulties to enter the job market. So the job market for cybersecurity and for cloud computing, they are sometimes demanding, they are sometimes aggressive, but for you to stand out, for you to receive several offers when you are on the market, you certainly need a differentiator. So to stand out on the crowd, you need a certification that attests that you have gone through a process. You have gone through a process of commitment, of investment of time, of money, of everything else. So this is my proposition for you. If you need any help, go to my website, peaksite.tech. There is a free ebook for you to start your studies right now. So if you have any questions, any comments, please let me know.